8 signs. You have a strong, intimidating personality. Do other people fear you? Some men have a presence so strong that they intimidate without even trying. I'm not talking about guys who put on a fake alpha male act or talk a big game. No. This is something deeper. A quiet, controlled aura that makes others step back. It's the kind of energy that doesn't need to shout to be heard. Here's the reality. Men who are truly intimidating never think about being intimidating. In fact, they're often surprised when others tell them they are. So, as we go through these 8 signs, ask yourself, do any of these sound familiar? You might have a stronger presence than you realize. 1. Eyes of conviction. The first sign of a strong personality is in your eyes. A man's conviction is seen in his eyes long before he ever speaks a word. This is why most guys carry the aura of a worm. They lack purpose. They drift through life, aimless and unsure. You can see the emptiness in their eyes. Think back to the pandemic. Pressure was high, fear was everywhere, and NPCs lined up to follow orders without question. But some men stood out, those who refused to follow blindly. If you looked closely, you'd see it. Their eyes held something different. While 99% of people lined up for triple boosters without a second thought, these men held their ground. They weren't swayed by pressure. They had conviction in their eyes, a strength that went beyond muscle, beyond words. You see, it doesn't matter if a man weighs 300 pounds of pure muscle. If he lacks conviction in his eyes, his presence is weak. This is why fake alpha males fail to command respect. They pump up their chest and try to intimidate others with invisible lat syndrome. Pathetic. Real presence is internal. A quiet fire in your eyes tells everyone you're rooted in purpose and unyielding. It's not a front. It's conviction that can't be imitated. This kind of conviction scares people because it means you can't be shaken, not by anyone, not even by the devil himself. There's a quote that goes, "The devil loves a man with no direction, for he'll follow any road that comes his way. But the man with conviction is a hard man to sway. He's a threat to the devil himself, and it's real. Once you find your purpose, your eyes say everything. People see it and instinctively know they can't shake you. 2. You can read people instantly. Can you read people? The most powerful men possess a rare weapon, the ability to see through others. Anyone can talk a bunch of crap. It's easy to spew words others want to hear. But reading people, that's about decoding their silence as much as their words. It's about spotting motives, deception, and hidden agendas that most people overlook. When you can read people, they feel it, and it rattles them. Psychopaths, sociopaths, manipulators, liars, narcissists, they all depend on secrecy and control. But when they sense that you're onto them, their power fades. You become a threat, the one person they can't fool. This skill doesn't just make you aware, it makes you dangerous. That's why high-ranking military leaders are trained to master it. Now, I've studied this for years and might create a full guide on it soon. So, you can read a man with a single look. But for now, just remember, your ability to read others makes even the biggest psychopaths tremble. 3. You've been scarred by life. If you've been through hell, you carry those scars with you. They're part of who you are. They make you seasoned. And it's something people who grew up in comfort can't relate to. Imagine you grew up in a rough neighborhood. You saw violence firsthand. Maybe even got your own hands dirty in fights. Your energy will be completely different from someone who has never experienced struggle or conflict. Even if you're at peace now, those battle scars, literal or metaphorical, stay with you. And if things were to go sideways, you'd be ready for the smoke because you've already seen the worst life can throw at you. That's a power most can't match. 4. You're comfortable with silence. Most guys are babbling fools. They're so uncomfortable with silence that they scramble for small talk, desperate to fill the gaps. They think silence is awkward. But in reality, silence is a sign of strength. A man who's comfortable with silence isn't afraid to just be. He doesn't need to speak to validate his existence. His presence is enough. That's why he's intimidating. While others drown in their own noise, he stands calm and composed, knowing that real power doesn't need to be constantly projected. And when he does speak, it's minimal words, maximum impact. 5. You walk with death. This sign is rare, but it separates certain men from the rest. Some men walk with death. They aren't depressed. They aren't suicidal. They simply don't fear the end. They understand one brutal truth. Death is coming, and running from it doesn't change a damn thing. In fact, the only way to fully live is to walk with death. The Stoics lived by this. They called it memento mori, which means, remember you will die. Most people are terrified of death. They cling to safety, afraid of the inevitable. They can't even talk about it without flinching. But men who walk with death, they're different. Their calm under pressure isn't an act. It's the confidence of someone who has accepted what others try to avoid. And that confidence, it terrifies anyone who hasn't made peace with their mortality. 6. You willingly embrace discomfort. Most people are soft, fragile, weak. They avoid anything that challenges them. But the man who chooses discomfort every day, he intimidates the hell out of those around him. We are built for pressure. We thrive in extremes. But today, people seek comfort, and it's killing their spirit. When you choose discomfort, you're living the way you were meant to, full of power, full of life. The chosen escape. 7. You don't care about opinions. The biggest aura killer is caring about what others think. The strongest men don't give a damn. They don't act for validation. They don't care what women say. They don't care how other men judge them. They move with purpose, and that makes them stand out in a world obsessed with approval. 8. You have an air of mystery. The best men don't overshare. They don't act like the Sigma male dorks online. They simply let their presence speak for itself. This unpredictability makes you intimidating, because people don't know where they stand with you. And that uncertainty keeps them on edge. Final thoughts. These are the 8 signs of a strong, intimidating personality. Do any of these sound familiar? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to level up in life, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Until next time.